What up, what up, what up, everybody, and welcome back to Just the Guys podcast, where our mission is simple, is to bring back shame. Shame is the feedback necessary to correct what's destroying our communities, and what's destroying our communities is really rooted in communism. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and join the Shamers Club to support the show. Let's get into it today because today I have a warning. I have a warning. Communist goal number 33 says eliminate all laws and procedures that interfere with the communist apparatus. That goal isn't just about changing policy, it's about reshaping who gets close to power. And this week, a Democratic Socialist walked into the White House. Zohran Mamdani, a man openly shaped by Karl Marx, mentored by the Democratic Socialists of America, and idolizing FDR's New Deal, sat across from Donald J. Trump, the same Mamdani Trump has repeatedly called a communist and a fascist. Now, look, I'm not saying Trump flipped. Trump has always been a deal maker. He works with people he doesn't like, people he doesn't trust, and people he doesn't generally agree with. But that part isn't new. But here's the warning. Communists don't meet for goodwill. They don't meet for unity. They meet to infiltrate. And goal 33 is the blueprint. Mamdani literally met with Wes Moore first to get coached on how to deal with Trump. And the second he walked out of the White House, his people, back on social media, dancing and chanting and calling half the country fascist again. So what's really happening here? Does this hurt MAGA? I mean, even CT has dropped the MAGA hat. Or does it even matter? Or is this exactly how subversion works? Not through revolution, but through proximity, through small, subtle compromises, through smiling faces that hide calculated ideology. So tonight we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in a little bit more. Talking about the Chicago lady who got beat up, pregnant woman who got beat up. There was a kid that came on and apologized. I'm going to talk about quite a few things. So just stick around with us, guys. It's been a couple of weeks, man. How you guys been?
Been good, man.
Yeah. CT.
Good.
Been good, man.
Yeah. Man, what's new? What's been popping off, man?
Oh,
Same old stuff.
Quiet.
Popping off of me. Same old, man.
Yeah.
CT's tired from his 12-hour stream yesterday.
No, I'm good to go.
12 hours straight.
Yeah, 12 hours, yeah.
Did you ever get up from the seat, though?
A couple of times. I did take a break.
A nap?
Let him run wild, yes.
No, I didn't take a nap, no. No, I didn't take a nap, no.
So, Gimpy, how long were you on that stream, man?
Was I on yesterday's? No, I don't know.
Were you? I can't even remember, man.
Oh, yeah, I was for the sci-fi. I mean, I came up late in the day because I worked all day. It's my last day before vacation, so. But I was up there for the sci-fi part, the good part of the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. CT got his wish. He had a full audience for a sci-fi topic. And it was the topic was
surprised.
I would have loved to participate in that.
Oh, it's good, man.
I bet.
CT's theory is that all future science fiction now has to present itself at the level of the two new Dune movies.
Yep.
So guys, what did you guys think of the Trump meeting with Mamdani? He went in there. They had their conversation, of course, behind the scenes, and then of course they took some time with the press. What was your initial reaction, CT, when you saw that Mamdani was meeting Trump?
What was my reaction? I had no reaction, man. This is politics, man. Mamdani is literally the mayor-elect and will be the mayor of the greatest city on the planet. So Trump has to meet with him and talk to him because, let's be honest about it. New York is literally New York City is the center of the universe.
Yep. So
I didn't think anything of the meeting.
What about you, soldiers, man? What did you see in this, man?
Well,
is this just business as usual, or is there something else at play here?
I didn't like the meeting because It further legitimized Mamdani. Okay, he won the election. Now he's the mayor. He's going to do his thing. Good. Plenty of people win mayoral elections all the time. That does not grant you a meeting with the president of the United States. I thought it was also interesting that they posed for a picture in front of FDR's portrait. It's kind of interesting. So we'll see what happens. In terms of New York City, yes, it definitely has been the center of the universe in many ways, financially, some aspects of the entertainment industry, a lot of aspects of culture. Everybody knows it. When you travel overseas, if you're from America, invariably, people are going to say to you, where do you live? And if you're me, you say Baltimore, and they say, how close is that to New York City? they always do that, right? How close is that to New York City?
Yep.
So it's a big deal. But I don't know. Maybe Trump's got something planned. I don't know.
Okay, Gimpy, you have some thoughts on this, man. Like, what are your, you have some views on this meeting. What do you thought?
They're in 30 seconds or flat. There are a whole bunch of ways to look at it, right? Like you can look at it the way the ladies looked at it, as it's Trump being the great deal maker and having his owning Mamdani moment. But for me, it's just another demonstration of the horseshoe theory, right? Horseshoe theory is if you go far enough left and right, you come around and they'll join back up again. So since it's already happening with the far left and the far right, and you see it in the overtures of Nick Fuentes and some of the socialists helping get Republicans that are right, like they're crying over Marjorie Taylor Greene leaving, right? Oh, she was a fighter. She believed, lady, a day ago you were trashing, but okay. Trump's doing the same thing with Mamdani. He knows Mamdani is now the king of the Democrats. All the old guard are failing. Like they might have power. The old guard might, and they'll kick and fight and whatever to maintain their power, but the old guard is quickly fading. Bernie Sanders is too old to be the future. AOC already has her, rocket science level intelligence reputation. So this kid Mamdani, he swept in and he knocked down all the money, all the name recognition, with promises of free lunch and no, extra recess and no homework for all of New York City. But Trump's just doing what everybody does in this scenario. The two sides bend together and find how they're going to meet in the middle, because Mamdani needs federal dollars.
Well, to the point, though, I mean, a lot of cities need federal dollars. I mean, look at Baltimore, look at Maryland as a state. But these mayors, governors have made and a lot of the Democratic politicians have made their fame, so to speak. Even Mamdani himself have made their fame about talking bad about Trump, right? That was kind of their thing, right? So and even Mamdani took it a step further than actually going to meet with the president. But remember how bad Steve Harvey, not even a politician, got drugged by the community or dragged by the community when he met with Donald Trump, and that sets the stage for no other politician wanting to meet with him.
By the black community.
The black community. No, but even other Democrats. Look at John Fetterman.
It's not the same anymore. It doesn't, like, we're in the transitional period. Like him winning, you can say changes the game, because now the Democrats, socialists, or the communists, as I like to say, the communists now control a major city openly as communists. He's an open democratic socialist. It's not an ultra progressive Bill de Blasio who talks like a socialist and still says they're a Democrat. There's a man who says they're a democratic socialist, which is just a form of calling it communism in the West. And that's a change. Like, it's not the same game. You got women like Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning with this message of, both parties failed. Everybody. Dude, you have to, if you want to be successful today, if you want the populist voting base that they're all competing over in the ending of the Trump era that's coming in the next 3 years, they're all talking about how all of government is failing, and they're all going to do whatever they can to show that they're the guys working across the aisle with their most hated enemies and still standing to their principles and fighting for what they believe in. And they're trying to bring compromise back to the table so that they all can win and keep the grift going. Because they realize they're at the point where the grift's coming apart for everybody, because now the grift is their own saying the system is broken. How long can you keep feeding that to people? Now you got to try and be fixers. It could be the same game trying to accomplish the same goals, but you can't keep presenting the dividing anymore. It's not working, because now everybody's hip to the fact that, yeah, okay, so now we're all enemies. Now what? Just say.
John says kind of like gays coming out of the closet. Now, did CT, does this ruin MAGA? Does this ruin MAGA or put a rip in MAGA? I mean, you dropped your MAGA hat today. People looking at the new CT.
No. And I say this because a lot of not a lot, I don't know if it's a lot, but from what I've seen, the first of all, we're talking about, when you ask me about MAGA, you're really asking me about white MAGA. And white MAGA, from what I've seen, they let Trump spit on them and and Trump could say it's rain. I'm very careful here, man, because I rock with the whites. You know, a lot of whites support the channel. But there is something about, there's this weird loyalty that MAGA has. So, no, MAGA doesn't complain about the Saudis coming to the White House dressed in their garb. MAGA doesn't complain about anything, because they are going to align with their feudal overlord, which is, the corporations and Donald Trump. So no. Now, if
could you explain the different MAGAs?
I'm sorry.
Could you first, before you continue, could you explain to me the different MAGAs? You got white MAGA. Is there a regular MAGA, and then there's their black MAGA?
I think black MAGA is more of individuals who, they're populist, right? They support the popular conservative candidate. I don't necessarily think a lot of black people are true MAGA in the terms of like that, like the white MAGA. I'm just talking out of my ass, right? I don't really have any facts or evidence, but from what I've seen, I feel like a lot of the black MAGA are just more, to me, they seem to be more of individuals that they really believe in America. They believe in working hard. You get some that will question the government or the Republican Party, but white MAGA tends to be a little bit different. And no, they're not
loyal, just not
more loyal. Me personally, I'm more of a MAGA that I'm enjoying the ride. I'm more open-minded. I'm more of an intellect to a degree, but a lot of MAGA will sit back and blame blacks for their problems, blame the Jays for their problems, all the while, let's be honest, the whites are effing them over. And to me, it's funny to watch, man. It's funny to watch Mamdani in the White House next to Trump. I think it's comical. I can't wait till Saturday Night Live does a skit about this.
Oh, dude, I mean, not to let Tyrone, not to cut you off, but like Trump owned him. Trump showed that he was by far the superior statesman, politician, showman. Mamdani couldn't pivot. Mamdani couldn't stay on message. He fumbled to the point that Trump got in. Oh, just tell him I'm a fascist. It's easier than explain. I don't mind. I've been called worse. So and you have every liberal. Oh, Trump even admitted it. They just got to play this. Imagine if the Democrats listened to these influencers and played Trump saying to Mamdani, just call me a fascist. It would be the biggest joke in the history of jokes, because the entire Senate will remember this day where Trump made the guy who was such a threat look like a little kid in front of him. Yeah. Right? Like, it's not like.
Let me actually play that clip for you real quick.
Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about.
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
Dude, he patted him. He's like, yo, like he does to Barron. Don't worry about it, Barron.
Yeah, one of those power pats.
And it's also in context, they had asked it. A different reporter had asked the question already, and he gave a lengthy, awful word salad answer, right? Where he tried to stay that, you know, we have our differences. And he did a really good job at an awful answer. But so, like, Trump, like, oh my God, the second time you can't even get this, right? Like, this is twice now you're getting this question. You should be ready to just pop on. And he showed him he's a masterclass. So the fact is that when you look at this meeting, Trump crushed it. But the reality is Mamdani asked for it, and Trump had no need to let him have it. So there's a reason Trump let him have the meeting. There's an importance to the understanding. Like, I'm telling you, it's not going to work anymore. After the shutdown, when everyone realized both sides could blame each other equally, and you can't really, right? We can say it's the Democrats, they can say it's us, and everybody's just going to, the middle is just like, this isn't going to work anymore. People are cheering Marjorie Taylor Greene, not because they like her, but because she said everybody's fucked. I'm just saying, her leading message is what's going to be everyone remembers. Right. She runs for governor or senator or VP for Vance. I mean, dude, she's the next wave of the woke right, and she did it perfectly.
So let me ask this: when that old phrase that says when someone shows you who they are, believe them. How does that, Tyrone? How does that apply here, right? Because I mean, Mamdani has said numerous things, and before I get your comment, he actually, met with Wes Moore to get prepared for the meeting. I want to play this clip.
Minutes after he was elected in New York, Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani was on the phone with Maryland Governor Wes Moore. Published reports say New York's new Democratic Socialist mayor was seeking advice on how to deal with President Trump. The governor has become one of the president's most vocal critics.
There is a chaos, and it is an intentional chaos, that we are seeing from this administration.
Lately, the governor has solidified his position by the words he uses and the company he keeps.
So I'm here with Governor Wes Moore in the governor's suite. Hey.
At the Commanders game in Landover on Sunday, the governor taped a message to the president.
Well, I just wanted to remind people that, because I know the president's coming on board today, but I just want to remind him, say, first of all, Mr. President, welcome back to Maryland. And second of all, in the state of Maryland, I am proud to be the commander-in-chief of the Maryland National Guard. So, welcome, Mr. President.
Joining the governor was Russell Ellis, better known as Jolly Good Ginger, who's an outspoken critic of the president.
Oh, I'm Antifa.
Ellis declared himself an Antifa at an anti-Trump rally in Washington 2 months ago.
So, Tyrone, you see that. Again, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Zohran Mamdani, Democratic Socialist through and through, self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist, calls Wes Moore the night of election, schedules a meeting to get advice from him on how to deal with Trump. Wes Moore also associating with known Antifa members who have now been labeled and classified as a terrorist group. I mean, what does this mean? When somebody shows you who they are, do we believe them, or what do we do?
Listen. First of all, I like to point out his initial response. Hey, okay, so I think he just told you a lot about who he is, right? And Wes Moore's a clown, but he's hardly alone. It seems like that you really don't need to be anything other than a clown and do some performance art in order to make it big on the left. Okay. The other thing about did you see where he said, "Oh, and I'm the commander in chief of the Maryland"? Dude, what are you saying? Okay. First of all, being the commander in chief of the Maryland National Guard right now, dude. Before you do that, how about you get an air wing back? You just let that go. So we're the only National Guard without an air wing. Okay. But he's a clown and he doesn't understand this. This is what I was talking about earlier before we went live on the show, how every member of the military is not actually a hero or someone who should be looked up to. the military is a microcosm of the larger society. So Mamdani, he could have chose several better people to prepare him to meet with the president of the United States. I don't understand how he thought Wes Moore was qualified to give him that kind of advice.
Because he's higher up in the Politburo.
Yeah, but as you alluded to earlier, right now, the leaders in the Democrat Party are Zohran Mamdani and AOC.
Yep.
Okay. They are the leader. And for anybody who doubts that, look at everyone else who could claim title. It's definitely not Obama. He's been neutered. Okay. Probably literally and figuratively. It's definitely not Kamala. It's definitely not the former President Biden. All right. It is, and I'm going to prove this to you. It is Zohran Mamdani and AOC. And of course, he's the mayor of New York, so he took a lot of oxygen out of the room. But the fact of the matter is, he was not the only socialist to be elected.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Head up a major city. Katie Wilson out in Seattle.
Yep.
And this girl, Hannah Schvetz, got a local council seat up in Ithaca, New York. And she says she's a communist. Okay. So, and those are like three, but I'm sure there were more in seats throughout.
There's been a history of them, but what I'm really trying to get at, right? How do we balance this idea of deal making, right? And you know, because I think there is something to at least hearing people out, right?
No.
Versus. Hold on. Versus. Hold on, man. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Versus anti-American activities, right? I mean, you know, the what they opened up to me and said we found common ground on XYZ, and I think, you know, with the socialists, that's part of what they do is communists. They find common ground. They use something, a grievance that you're already complaining about, you know, so you're already swinging this way. They just help you take your arm and just, you know, instead of hitting your target, you hit a brick wall. Right? They what's that move in judo? What do they call that in judo? You're using your momentum against you or something like that.
I guess.
But how do we balance that? Because part of, you know, you always also have the phrase of keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Look, CT, man, what's your thoughts on that? Man?
Game. I'm sorry. Like I can't believe that this has to be said. I mean, this is basically what Tyrone is saying, but it's politics. He's going to be the mayor of the biggest city in the country, regardless of whether he's your friend, he's your enemy, he's your best bud, or he wants to stab you in the face. You have to meet with him and you have to maintain a dominant position. It can't be that Trump refused to meet with Mamdani, because then all he can do is Trump's afraid of Mamdani. Trump, that actually plays for midterms.
Who asked for the meeting?
Mamdani.
Okay.
And then why do you pick Wes Moore? Because Wes Moore is the elite Politburo on the East Coast.
Well, I think this is why you pick Wes Moore, right? Because I'm gonna play this. Let me just play this.
I met him at the Army-Navy game. They said, "Oh, there's Governor Moore. He'd love to see you." He came over to me, he hugged me, shook my hand. You were there. He said, "Sir, you're the greatest president of my lifetime." I said, "But it's really nice that you say that. I'd love you to say it publicly, but I don't think you can do that, so it's okay." But no, sir, you're doing a fantastic job. I want to just shake your hand. Thank you very much, Governor. That was it. And then every time I see him on television, he's knocking the hell out of me. So, but that's all right. That's called politics. But Governor Moore's he's doing a bad job. Newsom's doing a bad job. All of their potential candidates are doing a bad job. I can't imagine Pritzker being even a candidate, but somebody said he is. He can't do the work, can't do the job.
So I think it was important because what this does is solidifies the backstabbing, solidifies being able to say one thing privately and do another thing publicly.
Trump's been doing this the whole time. He's been pulling the curtain back.
But I mean, but for the you know, politicians, but from Mamdani's perspective, I think it was important for him to do it because it's like,
dude, he has this. He says the whole. Sorry, finish your thought. Pause.
Well, I think it's important because anybody that meets President Trump comes away with a pleasant experience?
Not everyone.
I mean, for the most part, right? When you go to meet with President Trump,
how he feels every time he shows up there.
huh?
Ask Zelensky how he feels every time he shows up there. You got to stop. It's when you show respect, when you kiss the ring in front of Trump, he treats you like a loyal, feudal knight or whatever you want to call it. When you come in there and you start playing games and his agenda isn't your agenda, you get treated like Zelensky got treated. But that's, dude.
Well, what I'm saying is Trump will listen to you. Trump will
of course, because Trump in that meeting, in that meeting, he says, they ask about the name calling. Trump's like, that's politics. That's what happens on campaigns. Like, he keeps telling everybody the secret. The thing that Trump does is he has no filter about the shit politicians never used to admit to us directly before him. They used to pretend like we didn't see it happen. He was like, no, that's just how it is. We talk a lot of shit during the campaign, and now it's back to business. Again, he made it clear he's not friends with Mamdani. We disagree how to get there. We want the same thing. Good New York City, good America, blah, blah, blah. He kept Mamdani and his whole thing. He did an excellent job. Again, I'm just going to say we're in a point in history where if you want to make MAGA moves beyond Trump, if Trump wants to have a legacy of MAGA after him, he has to find a way to make MAGA more widely palatable and less of a divisive point. He does. He has to find a way to be able to pass it to a successor, because right now Trump is MAGA. And you have to create a thing where he's in a position to say, I'm a kingmaker because I sat with my enemies. I sat with my friends. I made deals on all sides of the world. I made deals inside the country. So what do you want? CT wants to say something. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. No, Logic, have you ever been to New York City?
Yeah. I went last year and the year before, I think. Yeah.
And you've been to Times Square and the
I've been to
financial
Times Square
and all that?
Yeah.
Do you think
Times Square is a long time ago, but most recent time I was in the Bronx, and then I went to Dumbo.
Man, I'm just gonna be honest, man. Do you think that MAGA, these rural whites, they could support that city? Like, if you were the president, right? You know, if you were the president of the United States, are you telling me you wouldn't want to meet with some of these big mayors of these big cities, man?
I think it's. I mean, you're the president. I mean, I think it's advantageous to, right? I mean, even
these cities would collapse, man, if it were up to MAGA, man.
I mean, because all of us like living in the country.
They collapse, man. I'm telling you, man. I see the play that Trump is doing. You know what? You have to meet with these people, man, and do business with these people to keep it going, to keep this system going, man.
You need everyone.
Exactly.
You need everyone.
I mean, and that is kind of my point. Like from a man's, because one thing that's been hitting me lately is we take a lot of this stuff a little bit too seriously, and it leads to a lot of like bitterness and resentment, and you can't get along with people for whatever reason. Now, I just believe we can strongly disagree on things and still be cordial, and that's generally been a trait of the right. However, soldiers, I see you talking. There are people out here that you can't talk to.
Yeah. And
so go ahead.
And we discuss this all the time, guys. We always say, and it's true, the right is having a debate, the left is engaged in a war. Okay. So while you're trying to, meet in the middle, they're thinking that they're celebrating, not all of them, but enough are actually jovial about an assassination that we all saw. Live stream. So when you start talking about, we can get along, can we? I mean, where do you say, you know what? I'm not interested in meeting in the middle, because to do so would involve me going over to the left by a country mile.
But that's not what he's saying. That's not what at all what Trump said in like the.
No,
again,
I'm not saying that's what Trump is saying.
Oh,
I'm suggesting that
apologies.
For those who think that there can be some negotiation with an ideology that is looking at this as we don't. It's not trying to negotiate.
The right used to be Pax Romana, right? We weren't just meeting in the middle. It was okay. It's the sword of Damocles. We'll have a conversation with you. If not, we'll unleash our war in terms of like politics and laws and stuff. We'll unleash our army of think tanks and lawyers on you and fight you that way, right? Like we lost our backbone for that, our taste for taking a stand. When Republicans take power now, they're afraid to upset the apple cart too much.
Right.
That's what Trump's biggest complaint is this time, is that they're not aggressive as he wants them to be.
You're right. And they haven't been for a long time.
Right. And again, that's where people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who are getting wise, like that's what I mean. She didn't bow out because of some threat or whatever. She's reading the writing on the wall. She's not going to win a re-election bid easily. So why fight it and tarnish her whole reputation through it? I mean, there are some good analysis of this. Step out now, and you are the clear leader of people who have been politicians, have some sort of weight in the America First movement now. What people are arguing are trying to turn into the next evolution of MAGA, right? Like the woke right version of MAGA, where it's the isolationist version or the absolute isolationist version. So,
all right, guys. So let's put a bow on this one. But final thoughts on this. Just go around. Was this an overall good thing? Overall bad thing? What's your thoughts?
Business as usual.
All right.
I don't think it's a bad thing, but I certainly wouldn't have met with him. Let him do his thing, and we'll do ours. I would have approached it from that standpoint.
I support it.
All right, how about you, Reason?
If we're talking about Mamdani meeting with Trump, I believe that meeting probably had to happen because when it's all said and done, Trump's going to get out of the White House. Hopefully he makes it through all of that good stuff, and he has a lot of stuff that's happening in New York. So he needs to be on the good side.
Man, the communists have your mic, man.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
You can't hear me?
Now we can.
Okay.
They were redistributing your audio.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, no. I said the meeting the meeting was going to take place, whether it was going to be, in front of a camera, not in front of a camera, talked about, not talked about, because the fact of the matter is Trump is going to be out of office, and when he gets out of office, he's going to be in New York, so he's got to make kind.
Lives in Florida now.
He's not going back to New York.
He's never.
He still has money in New York. He's gonna
there's not going to be money left if Mamdani has his way. It's okay.
So Mamdani has been a vocal critic of ICE, and he stands against having ICE in the city. And even in the conversation there, he talked about police and not giving a straight answer. But I do want to show there are people out there, particularly in Portland, that are not celebrating, but protesting ICE, and these are also Mamdani-esque supporters. So I'm gonna play this clip real quick. So that's enough of that. I mean, these guys, these are again Mamdani supporters, most likely Mamdani supporters. But yeah, this is what we're up against, guys. CT, you do funny family, man.
So what?
You do funny family, man.
Probably make a good macchiato.
All right, name the professions of at least 3 people in that group.
Barista, adjunct professor of Congolese underwater basket weaving degree, and I don't know what will be the third one. What will be the third one, man?
Custodial engineer.
Drag queen story hour.
Yeah.
Oh, librarians. Librarians are in that. By the way, Richard Simmons is cheering from his grave that his legacy still endures long after his death. And also, All these places that are anti-ice have a lot of warm drinks and rotten meat. Just saying. You don't have ice in your city, people. Tough crowd.
You know what?
I get it now. I finally got it. Okay. I got it. Go ahead, Reason.
No, you know, stuff like that. Sometimes I wonder, where have we come to? What has gotten us to the point in which...
Man, what's going on with your mic, bro?
The communists have redistributed his audio so those dancing fools can have sound.
It's like it's hitting up against your jacket, maybe, man.
It's like muffled, dude. It sounds like you have your mic under your ass.
How's that?
That's better.
I don't know if anything changed though, but you gotta keep talking.
Just lean into the mic so it hears you.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah,
that's good.
Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me all right. Okay. Yeah. No, I find I'm wondering how in the world the United States got here. I mean, 1, that's considered a protest, and 2, that's that. I don't think I could see the natural hair color of any of those people. I don't know if half those people were. You know what? I'm wondering which is worse, this or getting an election, being nominated as the first gay gospel group. Like, I mean, we're just weird. The United States is becoming weird that this is considered a protest.
What, were you nominated as the first gay gospel group?
No, but a couple months back, that took place. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so I mean the point that this is where we've gotten to in the United States. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at stuff and I know the world is the United States. The United States is not the world. But I mean, living here, and it's still the greatest country in the world, but I promise you get the most comedy and the most mental illness all happening at the exact same time.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying at this point, man, we gotta start laughing at this stuff, man, because it's funny. It's comedy, bro. This stuff is funny.
And the other thing about it is, if you think about it and you look at human history, liberty is not our natural state. Okay, it's a fine concept, but what we're learning is that humans really don't seem to have. They don't really have an appetite for it, by and large. Not enough to sustain it for as long as, you know, you've had like monarchies and out dictatorships. Humans love to complain. And I don't think humans really appreciate what liberty really truly, if they don't want it. Okay.
You know, it's funny. You say that. What I'm thinking about, and we're going to move on real quick after this, but Gippy, you can probably speak this a little bit more too, but God gave the 10 commandments, right? And then there were the 613 laws or something like that. And even when Jesus came, right, it's like, the laws were good, right? He didn't come to change the laws. It's like they were okay. But then you see now we got so many laws and so many laws. It's like, like even God said you're free. And then man's like, well, can we have more rules?
Right.
It's like God gave us 10 rules. If you live by these 10, you're good. But for some reason in South Carolina, you can't have peanuts and pretzels on the same counter as it be against the law. Like,
there's a lot of stupidity in the world.
That's not law.
Really?
Those aren't.
But it speaks to
the extensions of a social contract we all agree to, so that I can't walk up to you and violate God's laws without repercussion on earth. See, man decided, however you want to look at it. If you want to take the Jewish perspective, Jews demanded a king when God said you don't need a king, right? It's, dude, we all couldn't get over the fact that we can't handle each other dealing with each other. We're all so nice to each other that we needed to add these layers of social guarantees so that I could grow my fields all spring and not worry in the fall. You who's been sitting around is going to come steal from me, and it's just because you're stronger, you're going to be able to take it without any repercussions. So once we gave into that, then it's everything that becomes a conflict is in the scope of that social contract. So then we invented all sorts of tyranny to do that, right? Dictatorships, monarchy, feudalism, and we come to the modern day where we've decided that the people should be re-empowered, but with restriction. And again, every time we reach this point where we think we got what we're going on, Rome, Greece, whatever, where they're moving in a direction that's more freedom that you're talking about, we run back into this problem where we live in fear of each other. So we create these social contracts. Once we create them, we start falling into the...
Well, to me, I think that just speaks to the depraved heart of man.
Yeah, but that's the whole test, dude. The world can't be perfect.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like, that's the whole point. We keep failing the test at a fundamental level because we keep trying to turn it into something it can never be. This perfect world. It would be a test. That's the ideal. Communism is the greatest abandonment of God because it believes creating utopia here on earth. That's the reason, not because all the manifestos that caused the churches and the mosques and all the religions to be burned. It's because it ultimately replaces the whole purpose of the test of God, from God in heaven here on earth. You're going to create the utopia here, so there's no reason to want to achieve divinity anymore.
If I can, shout out to Kung Fu CJ. I'm sorry. My bad.
Shout out to Kung Fu CJ with the $2 super chat. Dang, what I missed. Hello. Hey, family. That's right on Kung Fu. And don't forget, guys, you can super chat the show. You can also join the Shamers Club because we're, again, here to bring back shame. And, guys, you guys are part of the show here, so keep your comments coming. I think Deborah had asked, Positive Vibes asked, is socialism really bad? And then I think LJ responded, the goal of socialism is communism. It's just a matter of degree. It's very destructive. And that's true. One of the objectives of communism is to never have a communist nation, actually, because they always call it socialist. You had the Soviet, the USSR. What was that?
Communism's definition is the utopia that occurs after the enforcement of forced socialism. So it's a transition. You're supposed to have this thing where you train everybody through socialism to not be assholes to each other. And then you eventually get to a point where you no longer need the Politburo. And you can just all live in this communist because you're all conditioned to be hive-minded for right? It's all collectivism. And everybody will behave accordingly. No one will steal. No one will rob. But anybody who saw Demolition Man understands why that's not possible, because it only takes one person to not agree, and it all falls to pieces because if you don't have a conflict resolution strategy because you don't have conflict anymore, and someone creates conflict, that'll overturn your whole thing.
Absolutely.
That's the problem. It's you're replacing the test. It's never meant to be here perfection. You're supposed to work your whole life knowing you're never going to get it here, and at the end, there's the possibility your judgment will get it for you.
Right on. So, hey, Reason, did you upload the clip I needed?
I actually saw that. I'm taking care of it as we speak.
All right, cool. Because, hey, guys, I want to get you guys' reaction to a few things. We're going to kind of roll through the last part. So, guys, if you haven't done so already, this is our live stream. Guys, join the show, join the chat. We appreciate your super chats. They help support the show. But, guys, I'm going to get you guys' reaction to a few things, starting with you, Gimpy, straight out of New York. The outgoing mayor, Eric Adams, has issued an alert or a warning to Jewish New Yorkers.
And I said this before and I'll say it again. If I was a Jewish New Yorker with children, I would be concerned right now. And that's something we should not normalize. And it should not be accepted. And I'm not willing to accept it.
Your thoughts, Gimpy?
Kahana was right. It's that simple, man. Jews just go back to having the JDL. They'll stop doing all those things to Jews.
What is he referring to?
the synagogue that got attacked. Like they protested outside a synagogue, sprayed swastikas, were screaming death to Jews and stuff, out front. But again, it's because they stop fighting back at the level that they get attacked. They try and when you like it's your problem that you put before, right? The conundrum. They're trying to be civil to resolve it civilly. They're not interested. They want total annihilation. So Kahana had a very clear thing: is since you're dealing with people who only want to hurt you, hurt them first. That's what the JDL is protect the Jews from all in the crown in the 70s and 80s, from all the attacks the elderly were getting over there. I mean, so I'm sorry. And like people don't want to accept the fact that some of the fundamentalists in the world are correct, because when people hate you, they hate you.
So let me ask, how do you make that determination of someone just disagreeing to someone outright hating? I think that's something that people should understand how to distinguish.
Well, when someone says, for example, they want to kill you, that's usually an indicator.
I agree. I mean, dude, people, it's really clear when someone tells you that you're their enemy, accept that. Now you can try and talk to them at first, but I think we've been doing the talking phase for quite some time now. And I don't care if we're still ready to talk. They're clearly not ready to talk. And it's the same for every hard progressive movement in this country. They're ready for a revolution. They're calling for it. And you got to believe people when they tell you what they are. I agree. Right? So you got to believe guys like Mamdani, but believe what they say. But at the same token, you can't destroy the whole country just because they are what they are. The man, right? Like a guy like Mamdani has power. Yeah, he's maybe Trump's enemy, but you got to have, because you can't cut New York City off. You have all the citizens there. You gotta, right? Like, dude, that's the conundrum. Is they're your enemy, but where is that line? And that's why Roman peace endured for so long. They had a very clear line. We're gonna send one guy to talk to you.
Yeah,
don't talk to him. I have 100,000 legionnaires behind him, ready to march on your city or your country or whatever. Right? We don't do that anymore. So the lines are more blurred. But that's how you do it.
So, CT, do you have any thoughts on the warnings to Jewish New Yorkers that Eric Adams was given? I mean, Mamdani was elected. He's been vocal about some of the things that he's been vocal about, and then you had the synagogue event, that happened.
I'm not aware. What you said? It was a synagogue that was
in Manhattan. They had a synagogue where massive pro-Palestinian protests was front. They trapped them in there, like to face the synagogue. Were screaming death to Jews.
Isn't there like a Jewish security force in New York City, right, Gippy?
I mean, there's voluntary like watch, but no, not anything that can deal with that. Not anymore.
I thought it was like a specialized unit in the NYPD or something.
That's to deal with the Hasidim and the Hasidic. Okay. It's not the same thing. It's more like liaisons, right? So that cops have people who can. But again, that's not, dude. In the 70s and 80s, when Jews were getting attacked in the open in New York City, Kahana built the JDL. The JDL put an end to that because Jews started patrolling their own streets, protecting their own neighborhoods, and you couldn't bring the fight to them anymore. Now Jews run to a camera. They think words are going to solve these problems. These people are threatening to kill us daily.
Yeah, I guess I got to agree with Gimpy on this one then. Logic, yeah, we need bring Kahana back, Kahana style leader, somebody who will get the job done. I'm going to say YouTube safe, if you get what I'm saying.
I mean, I kind of think every community needs to bring that back now. I mean, if people are openly saying, we're going to attack you, or we don't like you, or there has to be some level of defense that we have.
Right? Listen, man, you've heard me say that of the three Abrahamic religions, Christianity is the weakest. We have misinterpreted a lot of what Christ talked about. We've misinterpreted it to be pacifist. And in so doing, we're getting stomped, okay, because we don't have the wherewithal. Look at what's going on in Nigeria, for example. Okay, so you got a disarmed Christian population that's been taught to turn the other cheek. They never were taught about the verses, sell your cloak and buy a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't hear that being emphasized.
Yeah, even the armor of God you read in Ephesians, man, has a sword as one of the pieces of your kit.
Absolutely. And then people always ask the question, what would Jesus do? And these soft Christians always interpret that as the most pacifist answer, when in fact, every time I hear that, what would Jesus do? I interpret it, fashion a bullwhip and start beating the hell out of people to get them out of the temple.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why does that never come up in terms of what would Jesus do, right? So Kung Fu CJ, I sat on his live stream the other last night, and there was a gentleman on there that broke down. Oh man, I just can't even begin to do it justice, but he broke down the relationship between militant Islam, is there any other kind, and how they move, right? And remember, Christians used to move this way. That's why there were crusades. And remember this, the crusades were defensive. They were not offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And until Christians get off of this horse shit, prosperity gospel, liberation theology, this American flavor horse shit, and start to, get militant, yes, militant, and observing your Second Amendment rights and saying, no, there are things that we're not going to accept, okay, then expect more of the same.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's go to this next one. And this, Tyrone, this one is for you because the Coast Guard recently had some language that changed. But there was this young lady that reacted to the change.
Because the U.S. Coast Guard will no longer classify swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. Yep, this is coming straight from DHS because the Coast Guard falls under Kristi Noem. The U.S. Coast Guard will no longer classify swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. The military service, which falls under the Department of Homeland Security, has drafted a new policy that classifies such items as potentially divisive. Yeah, no, that's not potentially divisive. That is extremely divisive. These are fucking hate symbols. They're hate symbols. But fucking right on brand, Homeland Security. Y'all are just making things up now. Are we? Media.defense.gov. Harassing behavior, prevention, response, and accountability. November 2020 motherfucking 5. Chapter 11, public display of divisive symbols and flags. B, potentially divisive symbols and flags. Potentially divisive symbols and flags include, but are not limited to the following: a noose, a swastika, and any symbols or flags co-opted or adopted by hate-based groups as representation of supremacy, racial or religion intolerance, or other bias.
Hold on, but before I go to you, Gippy, I want to go to Chadwick. Reason. So when I hear things like this change, and I just want to understand like your logic. If this was true, let me ask this: when something like this happened, like how do you immediately respond? And I'm asking this the wrong way, right?
Who are you asking? Because you said me.
Reason.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So let me ask this.
At this moment, I just want to say, don't smoke crack.
Yeah, don't smoke crack. Reason, when you first hear something like that, what would be like your immediate response? What do you immediately do to react?
My immediate thought when I hear something like that is, one, is it a joke? Two, why would they think that something like that wouldn't be a problem? I mean, are we trying to combine that with, and I don't know if you guys spoke about this before I got here, but are we trying to combine that with what was stated by these few Democrats earlier in
Exactly.
the week that made a video that had to do with, don't disobey a direct order, which, by the way, is treason. I mean, what's going on with like what we're trying to do here with the psyche and thought process of the military? That's the first thing that comes to mind. Like, you're saying that stuff like this. I mean, you're saying that stuff like this wouldn't necessarily be a problem for people. Like, imagine, I'm sure that there are people who are probably Jewish who are in the Coast Guard, or it was the Coast Guard, right?
Mhm.
Right. I'm sure of that. I'm sure there are people who are probably black that are in the Coast Guard. I'm sure that there are people who have issues with stuff like this, and then now they're thinking, probably, why in the world would a country I represent do this? So I just find it weird that a whole bunch of different things are going on with national security and with that things that have to do with the military. I just find it
So
weird.
let me say this, because my first reaction to when I saw this, and I try to do this with anything really, is to ask why.
Yeah.
And not in the sense of like to have an opinion either way, like insert in my opinion either way, but it's just to get an understanding of why a decision was made, right? And for something like this, my first immediate thought, because the language is potentially divisive, right? First off, we understand a noose is a knot, right? So a noose is, that people are tying nooses all the time to do different things. It's a type of knot. And then the swastika, my immediate thinking with that is that there's been a lot of faux hate crimes that have been, manufactured using symbols like this. So, using the word potentially divisive in this sense kind of could play into maybe some legal ramifications or something. I don't know. These are just things I'm thinking, right? So when
do you agree or disagree?
What do you mean?
Like, what you? I know. So, do you think what they're doing? Do you think that specifically? We're going to do this. Do you think that is not them trying to place some sort of? I mean, with everything that's been going on.
I want Tyrone to respond to your question.
Okay.
What were
yeah,
you
my
asking?
question is, do you think that this really is, because logic is I get what he's saying. He's saying, you know what, we're doing a whole lot of things that could be divisive and this and that, and I'm not trying to misquote him or interpret him or anything like that. But I mean, what I'm hearing from him doesn't sound like there's something fundamentally wrong with what they're doing. Am I that's what I was trying. Do you think that's fundamentally wrong, what they're doing?
First, what they did was reclassified it as potentially divisive. Okay. They didn't say, oh, this is you fly your swastikas proudly. They didn't say that. Now, if you want to play the language game, yeah, it is potentially divisive. The swastika, I feel the same way about the swastika that I feel about the Confederate flag and the rising sun flag. These are symbols of a defeated faction, so they don't get to be flown. Okay. And especially when you talk, the rising sun, think about all the people who were brutally killed by the Imperial Japanese. Right. That's why it's been changed, because it was a symbol of hatred. Okay, as is the perversion of the swastika, because remember, the original swastika is an Asian symbol of peace. The Third Reich flipped it, okay, inverted it, and took it as their own. Okay, what we know of as a swastika is a symbol of hate, and that has no place in any workplace where you're bringing in this case, 1 million people, military. It has no place in any workplace. We come here to do a job, okay? What you got hanging on your bedroom wall in the house that you pay for is your business. But in the military, that, you can't do that.
Can I ask one more question? Because basically, because of what Bling just said. So things that are originally meant for something and eventually kind of changed into something else, should we forgo the fact that it originally meant something? Like, I mean, my daughter talked to me about how an upside down cross is something that's a satanic symbol. And I said, no, for people that study the Bible, that's that's the cross of Peter. He didn't want to be crucified the same way that Christ was. But now it's meant for something completely different. Is the fact that something's changed. Do you get what I'm saying? Do we just forget the fact that it was originally what it was originally for?
It's got to be looked at in its context. The swastika is easy because if it's flipped the other way, then it's not the Third Reich symbol. But as far as like the upside down cross, if I see that in the context of, say, Satanism, for example, then I know how they mean it, right? And look, you're exemplifying your nickname, Reason. Okay. Unfortunately, most Americans are not on that, and they just get triggered by a symbol.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of critical thought going on out there. You remember the Bubba Wallace thing?
Yeah.
Where they had actual FBI go down and investigate. I'm like, for what? It's no crime that's been committed. You might not like the fact that a noose was, and it turned out not to even be that.
Yeah, it wasn't even a noose.
Right, but why is the FBI here? So it's like a lot of emotional triggers, and people aren't using reason to kind of figure out what am I angry for a reason, or am I just being triggered by something?
Absolutely. CT, did you have any thoughts on that whole Coast Guard changing the language thing? Because if I'm not mistaken, did they change it right back, soldiers?
They did.
Okay.
They did.
Oh no, I don't have any statement about it.
They changed it to back to divisive. Real quick, not to cut you off, Chaotic, but you did mention reason, and this is the bigger story. This is the much, much bigger story. Is Mark Kelly, the senator, I believe he's from Arizona.
The astronaut, right?
The astronaut. And is it just me, or like midway the shuttle program, the astronauts all became shit? Okay. Gemini, Mercury, Apollo, and half of the shuttle program, they were all like the right stuff. And then they all turned into like prima donnas like Mark Kelly. Anyway, you got Mark Kelly, a couple of other senators, and some congressmen out there encouraging mutiny. Okay. And they're doing it under the guise of, you don't have to follow an unlawful order. Specify what unlawful order was given.
They don't have to. See, and the fact is they're winning because you're reacting exactly the way they planned when they made the idea to make that commercial. Oh, dude, you don't think that the first thing the people who come up with these ideas are is
I'm trying to keep people out of Leavenworth.
I understand what you're trying to do, but we're not talking about what you're trying to do. We're talking about what they tried to do. They don't say that something happened already. They're giving the vagaries of the future. They're planting a seed, right? See, in their perspective, they have 3 more years of this, right? And they have National Guard incidences already. We have ICE. We have all this escalation from their perspective on the Trump side. So they're fighting back. They're going to create. They already know that not everyone in the military aligns with Trump. So they're planting a seed.
Okay, bro, you're dealing with the problems that I was dealing with, apparently.
What?
Say what you said again. No one heard what you were saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying that these people are planting a seed because they know not everybody who's active in the military necessarily aligns with Trump. And they're not saying he did anything yet, but they're giving people an opportunity to open the door in their mind to look for things for them to make claims or to become whistleblowers. This is the start of creating a chain of events for the future. Dude, there's nothing now that benefits them to do this other than to plant seeds.
Here's the problem.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not pro it.
I understand. But here's the problem. When you get on the ground and you start you start planting this in people's heads. Mark Kelly is not going to run into your defense when you're standing in front of a court martial, getting ready to get a dishonorable discharge.
Right. They're not talking to you.
And end up in prison. Okay.
They're not talking to anybody within 100 points of your IQ. Let's start there.
But aren't these the same people though that I don't know, like they're telling people to disobey lawful orders?
No, they're not. They're not. They're specifically like this is clearly a psyop on their part. Like this is a true like definition textbook telegraphing it to the world. They don't give a fuck because they're panicking psyop. Like I will refer to what I said earlier. The current leadership of the Democrat Party is collapsing, right? As long as Trump exists, the leadership in the Republican Party is firmly in Trump's court. Everybody's trying to take a bite of the king. But on their side, they have no leaders. And they're tearing themselves apart while trying to hide it from the world that that's happening, right? So this is another attempt to try and keep the old guard in power by setting it up to have a distraction that some whistleblower comes forth and says, you see this memo we got? You see how it's worded like this? You can interpret that this is illegal. And so that they can have a power play against the king. They're running out of moves on the table. They're losing from behind. Their own pieces are coming after them. And they're looking for anything desperately. Look how much air, this one little 30-second, everybody, they're seditionists. None of that's true. Like it's wrong. They shouldn't do it. But they didn't do anything seditious. They didn't break any laws. It's very careful, very calculated. They picked a CIA agent. Like think about the people they used and they tried the eyes of veterans. It's clearly a psyop. Like this is a clear psyop, and we're all like we're falling for it. I get what we're doing here, but I'm saying people are fucking falling for it.
So CT, did you see Trump's response to this? Because this is what he responded to: execute them, right?
No, let's see it. I didn't see it.
Something to that effect.
Right.
Yeah, but I remember that. But can we take into consideration that, 18 U.S. Code 2383 specifically says activities affecting the armed forces, Title 18, Chapter 115, S23587, advising, counseling, urging, or in any manner causing or attempting to cause insubordination, disloyalty, mutiny, or refusal, duty of any member of the military or naval forces in the United States, disturbing any material with intents to cause or mutiny considers up to 20 years in prison or a $10,000 fine or both. Like, did we not see that that's exactly what this is? Like, literally, they put on video exactly what that is?
No, they didn't.
Yes.
No, they told you not to follow an illegal order, which is totally a legitimate thing to say to anybody.
They said if you believe this is illegal, don't follow it. How can they tell
that works?
How can you tell if something's illegal?
Right, and that's the thing. That's
my point.
Listen,
Dude, if in a very extreme case, if they ask you to murder civilians, it's legal.
Listen.
I'm just saying you're making
there are things that obviously, if you tell a platoon, go burn down that village, okay. All right. That's obviously illegal. Okay. But you do not want rank and file enlisted, non-commissioned, and most of the officers that are outside JAG trying to interpret the UCMJ.
Yeah, but they don't care.
They don't. Right. No, those Congress.
They want whistleblowers. They want someone to be a weak link in the chain. Like, again, this is my point. You're coming to it with an analytical mind. You care about these soldiers. I agree with you. But that's not what they're doing. They know people are stupid, scared, bigoted, and have predetermined biases and shit. And they're trying to plant the seed so that in a year from now, some soldier who's disgruntled got passed over to get to an E5 or some bullshit, but he gets to see classified documents because he's a clerk to an admiral or whatever, is willing to give that. I had that up there for CT, so you could finish asking him about Trump's response. So
okay,
sorry.
Can I just say this? Let me just say this. If there is someone out there who's considering joining the military, but you got a real problem with the policy direction of the U.S. Perfect. It's an all-volunteer force. You don't have to do it. Okay, it's fine.
I thought you were going to say it's called the French Foreign Legion.
No, I mean, you could do that. They will take you. And if you can make the grade, go over there and do it. And plenty of Americans have. But to the servicemen and women who are currently serving, wait until you get your honorable discharge. And then once you get out, you can do what you want, say what you want, okay? But don't jeopardize your career, your freedom even, or your future. Because if you get a dishonorable discharge, that's going to affect you materially for the rest of your life. Don't do that and jeopardize yourself, because these fat cats will be sipping martinis at a fundraiser and not thinking about you at all.
So CT, go ahead, jump in, man.
So this is what Trump said here. Can you see it on your screen? You want me to read it to you, bud?
Sure.
All right. It's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. Triple exclamation point. As an example must be set. President Donald J. Trump.
Just a lot of talking, man. That's it. That's it. It's Donald Trump talking. Yeah.
Dude, I feel like I got to get like Afro Nerd up here to yell at you for a few minutes to get you hyped.
It's just it's the same theatrics over and over, man.
This is a really bad Gregory Hines movie.
Still bling. I mean, do you? And I'm sorry, chaotic, but do you? So, like, do you see how I find this kind of weird? Because the your commander in chief says to you, gives you a direct order. Here's something I need you guys to do. Are you going to sit here and go, okay, let me make sure that this is legal or not on something that they have you do, something they have, something that they are having you look into for an assignment that they're sending you out like in the middle of the night tonight? Are you going to actually be like, wait a minute, is this illegal or not as a direct order?
No, I'm just going to follow the order of my commander in chief. But go ahead.
You see,
first of all, the order to the president from the president would come down to 4 stars, and then it would trickle down from there. And believe me, when it comes to all of this action that may result in the taking of lives, that goes through legal. Okay, they're not just doing that.
Yeah.
There's a army of attorneys looking at this stuff. Okay, those boats that they're bombing out in the Gulf. Okay, believe me, that's someone's checking that.
Yeah.
Saying, all right, we're good to go.
Yeah.
So,
hey, I apologize, but somebody's background is really messing.
It's like, who's got the
it's
TV
terrible. Okay, it was Logic. I just turned him off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So it would be.
Hey, Milo, turn the TV down. Turn the TV down.
And now you're famous.
Right. We need to make that a meme. Marlo, turn the TV down.
Yeah.
Make that a meme.
We heard that.
It must have been mute fast enough.
But again, my thrust is just saying that to the rank and file men and women, don't fall for this. Don't fall for it.
Oh, y'all when I do that?
I'm sorry. Like, you do understand that the army is still filled with a whole bunch of he, she, non-binary, blue-haired people who signed up under the last administration, right? Okay. They might be hiding in the shadows because they can't walk around openly like that, but they didn't give up their commit. There wasn't a mass exodus.
And look, as far as that's concerned, there've been gay people in the military since there was a military. Alexander the Great.
I didn't say gays.
No, I get it. Alexander the Great, one of the greatest military commanders in the history of the world, gay by our standards. Okay, sleeping with men. The Greeks were okay with it, but well, they were.
Yeah. Hey, teach their own.
I don't know.
So the thing was, look, we're not here to hear about who you're sleeping with. Fall in line, do whatever the hell it is you want to do on your off time, and let's go do this thing. You know, we are the outliers in that we were turning our military into a social experiment instead of concentrating on the purpose of the military, which is simply to kill people and break shit.
Well, then you also, you know, the reason why they thought it was okay to be a social experiment with the military, because it's been a science experiment for the longest time. They use our soldiers as guinea pigs all the time. So again, dude, we have our priorities. Like, this is why I said earlier, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are reading the writing on the wall. The general population no longer wants it to be in dysfunction in every state. The government at every level has dysfunction or supermajority, echo chambers. Americans are feeling left behind at every turn, and they're turning to the worst people because those people figured it out first and are capitalizing on the right messaging. I'm sorry, but this is what it is. We're sitting here talking about this moron psyop while Nick Fuentes has like 3 million people watching him talk about how we should team up with the left to defeat everybody. Who's going to win, man? We're sitting here talking about shit they know is a distraction. The rest of them are planning to overthrow, you know, they all want a revolution.
Now, you might be onto something. I mean, I know you're onto something. But
I don't know, man. I worry these days.
Yeah, me too. So next, guys, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe. You can super chat the show as well, if you haven't done so already. Next, I want to go to Chicago because this week we saw that kind of viral clip come out of Chicago of a pregnant mom being beaten by some elementary school kids. Now, what sparked these kids to that level of outrage, I'm not sure. But one of the mothers of one of the children that allegedly was attacking this woman took to the internet to also apologize. And I want to get you guys' take on the apology. So I want to, CT, I'm going to start with you, but after I play this clip.
She is one of the children that was a part of the fight at OT Bright School on yesterday. We're just coming live so she can say her piece and take accountability. I won't say too much. And please, anyone that decides to say anything, keep it respectful. This is the child. Okay.
I was wrong for everything that I did. And I was just being a follower, following everybody who don't even got nothing that I got. And I apologize for everything because I wouldn't want to be in that situation. And I feel bad. Because it's okay. I gotta go through so much.
Sorry.
CT.
Yes.
What's your reaction? What do you think of that response?
You gotta get away from black people, man. If I was to tell her, I would get far away from black people as far as possible, man. If I was that lady, to be completely
pregnant
honest.
Mom.
I beg your pardon.
Was it mom?
The woman that was attacked.
Yeah.
You talking about you wanted me to react to the mother of one of the girls who did the assault?
Yeah.
It's just, it's a broken home, man. Where's the father at that little girl? It's just a culture of violence, man. It's never gonna change. She's probably like one of the good ones, but they're all doomed on either side, man. I saw the mother being attacked too with the kids, man. I would get away from blacks if I was her, man. And that little girl that did the attack with that little fake, apology, I feel sorry for that girl, man, because she's pretty much doomed, man, to be honest with you. Stupid mother, You know, the household is already broken. No father in the home. Yeah, it just never ends, man. But that's all I had to say about it.
Reason.
Yeah, you're a terrible mother, and you have a terrible child. That's it. You are a you. There will be absolutely zero. Don't be respectful, because this is a child. This chick, and I'm being respectful when I say that, be respectful to her. Look, yo, I got 100% honest with you. One dude was there. Look, it would have been a completely different story. If it was me, right? If it was me, this is how it would have went down. I would have first taken the person who had the cell phone. It would have disappeared, because you don't need any evidence. And then I would have probably went to break some legs of some that's how you fix the problem. That's how you do it. Because then the young lady would have got away, and all those little nigglets that was attacking this chick would have been trying to figure out how to get their friends to the hospital. I have no words for that kind of stupidity. This chick, you raised that. All the parents of these kids, you raised them. And if you're talking about there are no families, no fathers in the home, nah. 0 + 1 will always equal 1. It will never equal 2. You cannot blame a non-existent variable for a problem. Because if both of these kids, or if all of these kids ended up going to Stanford, which is one of the hardest schools in the planet to get into at a 5.7% acceptance rate, you would have said, I got them in there. So now you need to say, I fucked these kids up. We don't have a fatherless problem. We have a single mother problem, because the mothers are the one that are raising these assholes.
Well, tell them how you really feel.
Always will.
Soldiers. When you see that, man, you saw the lady, the young girl crying. What did you think about her apology, man?
I mean, for the most part, she's probably more concerned with some punishment she may have. Maybe they took her video games or cell phone away, and that's probably eliciting the emotion. I think, though.
What emotion did you see?
Well, she has some little fake tears going on. I think the real issue is, that reminded me, the clip you showed of the actual attack. Have you ever seen like Wild Kingdom?
I was waiting for the animal reference.
No, really.
I thought it was going to come from CT, but
have you ever seen Wild Kingdom? And it's like they'll always show something on the Serengeti getting attacked by hyenas, and it's always a lot of them, and they're like the hyena is kind of cowardly. So if the lion says or something like that, they'll jump back a little bit, but then they'll be like, all right, the other 72, you with me? And then they'll go in and like take the kill from the lion. That reminded me of that. Okay. Which is a problem. CT said get away from black folk. I said get away from people. Okay. The human is the absolute most dangerous animal on this planet. Think about it. Okay. You can have super strength. A gorilla has super strength. And what have we done with the gorilla? We got his Baltimore Zoo. Okay. Locked down. Not a threat. All right. He relies on us. Food. Okay, we are the top of the food chain, and it just seems like, and I will be completely honest. If I saw 12, and Jesse Jackson said this, if I'm walking down the street and I see 3 white guys on this side, 3 black guys on this side, they asked Jesse Jackson, what you gonna do? Which side of the street you going on? Jesse Jackson said, I'm going over there with the white guys. Okay, because just from the standpoint of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, one of which is safety, all right, you're going over to where you have a reasonable degree of safety. And that's just the way it is. So if these kids are doing that, Bad sign for society. I encourage people, find yourself a little plot of land in the middle of it, but I gotta commute them, okay? Because there's nothing like peace of mind coming into your home. Logic, I'll ask you, be honest. Now, you still have business in Baltimore, right? That you have to take care of.
For sure.
So be honest with me. Every mile you get away from Baltimore, does not your stress level decrease?
As soon as I cross into the county I live in.
Thank you.
But Gippy, man, I don't know if you paid attention to what she said, right? She said she was being a follower, and she kind of compared it to they don't even have the stuff that I got.
She was trying to, because what you're hearing is the parents coaching before, like, so you want my comment on this? My comment is really simple because I was going to talk about exactly what you're talking about. And that wasn't real. That was all fake. That's all staged for the camera, a demonstration of the age we live in. That mother prepped that girl. You're going to say this in front of the camera. Right. And the talking to that she got before it is don't you understand? You have all these things. Those kids are animals. Why would you behave like that when you have all these things and they don't? Right. Like, why would you follow? Right. Because she said, oh, I didn't start. I just did what everybody was doing. Right. Like, that's the excuse she gave her mom. And it's all you can see. The kid's whole apology is a response to whatever the adult told them before the camera turned on. Kids don't talk like that. Kids don't understand that concept. That's the responsibility of the lesson being taught to them by the mother. The problem is it took till the kid was in a street fight, beating up some pregnant lady, for the mother to make some sort of impact like that. Because if she had made that impact earlier, she wouldn't have been she would have known that she would have called the cops to stop this. She would have been in the middle to stop it, not egging it.
I agree with you on the coaching aspect, because even during the if you watch the full reaction or the full video, she's like, it's okay. She's kind of like nudging, like nurturing her along the process. But maybe she did it because of what Coley Bennett, shout out to Nicole from Power Politics. She said all the parents deleted their social media accounts because the South Side of Chicago was coming for them online and in person. So maybe she deleted the account. I mean, she did this so the mom could stay on social media.
No, for all you know, their lawyer said that was a good idea. I mean, probably not, but like, dude, for all you know, she's doing it to preemptively have some sort of defense for her kid. That, look, my kid isn't as bad as all the other kids, and since you have a bazillion kids to deal with, let's make a deal. Dude, come on, like, this is not real. We live in the day. Look, even going back to the last segment with the PSYOP, we know what they do to lie to us. Every e-thought that gets on Instagram uses filters. Nothing is reality. They show you a picture inside a plane. You know, at JFK, you can rent to sit inside private planes for Instagram pictures, so you can pretend like you're flying everywhere. We live in an artificial age. We live in the AI generation coming, where you're not going to know what is real and what isn't to begin with.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not real. We have to stop thinking that people in front of the camera are real. It's content every single time. Even if they're trying not to be content, you're still content because you had to make it in front of the camera. It's either you accept that you're making a product like people like us or CT, or you think that you're changing the world and you're screaming into the void because you're one of the billion voices inside YouTube. And if you're not making the product, you're just screaming into the void.
And that's a great point. And, you know, it becomes the barrier to entry to get your voice out there. That barrier is disappearing. Okay. So you had, take YouTube, for example. It used to take some effort to make a YouTube video, right? That effort is diminishing with each passing day, and it's giving. So as long as you got a cell phone, and there's the SpaceX satellite overhead, you could have some cat in the bush country of Africa, all right, with content.
His favorite content creators are people who make content that way. They go around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so real quick, I want to wrap it up with this because it seems to me this particular thing shows the importance of fathers. Notice I mean, most of you guys alluded to it, but noticed the values placed on what in the conversation. She said, they ain't even got what I got. Not anything about character, morals, anything like that.
Over it by saying I was a follower, and like again, that's the whole thing. It's presentation. It's
regardless of AI, regardless of how easy it is to create content or what have you, the foundation still has to be there. And character, morals, values, they can't be replaced regardless of how artificial.
Sodom and Gomorrah 2025. What are you talking about character and morals? 20 kids beat up a pregnant woman. Where are we talking about character and morals? That child,
because that's what's missing, bro.
Dude, but you're not gonna you're right. No one's arguing with you, but this ain't giving her character or moral. Her mom isn't gonna see it. Even if her mom is in the fucking audience, isn't gonna look at this and say, you know what? Let me have some self-reflection at this moment and say, why are these 5 random strangers sitting here and talking like this? No, it'll be that. Those fucking coons, those 4 coons, and that you'd they're all the problem. It's not me. It's that they hate black women. Black women, dude. Go watch CT's show. He will sit there for 9 hours, say 10 words, and they will look at him and say, CT, all this is your fault. Not, I came up here and I clicked on the gay porn and I got into the middle of the gay porn shoot. No, I'm not the gay person. CT made me gay. Wow. What are you fucking talking about? Like, this is the age we live in. This woman did that for her own self-gratification. Because these parents were coming for her. Oh, I got to do something. I got to make a grand display. Not anything about sending her kid to juvie for a weekend so she learns never to do it again. How about that? How about some real consequences, tangible consequences? Consequences that, like, dude, if I ever got caught like that, I would not be able to sleep in my house for any time. My parents beat the hell out of me. Like, chased me around the house, beat the hell out of me for that shit. I beat up a pregnant lady. Let's put this in the scope. It's not even a normal assault. It's assaulting the weakest, most vulnerable amongst us.
I'm not joking when I say this. I think we would have. I honestly think we might have disappeared if we did that.
Yeah.
With the family that I had.
My dad would have beat me, and they would have just pretended I didn't exist when people started asking where I disappeared to after they murdered me and buried me in the backyard. We didn't have a fourth son, fourth child. And
those were little teeny
remember, we must be talking about another family.
And those were little teeny kids too, right?
You're right. So speaking of starting a family, I want to get Chadwick in on this one. And this is the last thing we're going to talk about tonight, guys. But I want to get Chadwick in on this one. This is so I think her name is Leslie Jones, was on Kelly Clarkson talking about relationships. And I think Leslie Jones about 58 years old. But I'll let her explain her story. And we'll be right back.
You know, the one area I get so scared in is like, this is weird, but dating. I get really uncomfortable. No, I become an idiot. Like, I'm so comfortable in my skin, and then you go on a date, and I'm like, what the hell did I just say?
Yeah, especially now, and men.
Are you good? Are you good at it?
I'm not good at dating at all because I judge so hard. If you do certain things, I'll be like, I don't like you. If I look at your hand, I'll be like, your hand's too small. No. I don't like the way he grabbed his coffee. No.
Oh my God, I have a friend like you.
I just be like, it'd be certain things I'll be like, yep, no, I don't like you.
Yeah.
No, you don't take baths. No.
You know. Must have been a musician.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you know, it's just so crazy, especially now. Like, and I'm famous, right? You know, when you get famous and and you're a woman and you're successful, the first thing they think is what? You're gay.
Oh, you know what's so funny? I get that now that I'm single. People think, yeah. And I don't really care either way. I'm into men, but I don't really care what people think. But I get that.
I will say it. I love men.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But I don't love a stupid man. Okay? And I done got to the point in my life where I really want what I want in my life because I have worked so hard for my peace. if you can't be with my peace, you can be with the door.
Yeah.
If you, and I'm really like, I think I've been by myself so long that, like, first of all, I hate the term feminine and masculine energy. I hate that term so much.
I think we have both.
I
we all have all of that.
freaking hate it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in your masculine area. Well, why don't you get in yours?
Find it. And I think we have both.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of men telling me, oh, well, you know, you hardcore. Yes, I am.
Can you handle it?
Oh, well, what you bringing to the table? I am the table.
He definitely was the table.
Because I don't understand why you wouldn't want a woman like me. I am successful, I'm rich, I can fight. Like, it's not gonna be you, like if somebody attack us in the parking lot, I'm be like, go get the car while I handle these 3 thugs.
All right, guys, you saw that. Reason.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try to be quick with this. I'm going to remove the glasses for this one even. There's a difference between being feminine and being girly. We have a group of women today that have no clue how to be feminine, so they replace it like this young lady with fingernails, and in her case, braids, because she used to wear the short cut, and lashes and all of that good stuff, because she has no clue what being feminine actually is. And the reason that people like April Mason are millionaires today, off of pretty much, what did she say to the lead attorney? The best way to become rich is to feed black women fluff. She literally, I mean, she understands that chicks like her in their late 50s and all of that, there's a market for this in our culture, because we have really just it's like that. It's to the point in which it's marketable, and we all and she doesn't understand that attraction is asymmetrical. It's not symmetrical. She or women are looking for things like, you know, height and to be taken care of, and provision, and guys with money and all of that good stuff. And we as men don't care about you being you are built like a table. That's neither here nor there. But we're not even, we don't even think about that. We're looking for fit and friendly and competent and submissive and youthful and all of that, and you just don't fit that category, any of it, quite frankly. And when it's all said and done, you are exactly what you say you are. You are probably in the average of what 1% of the population. And understand, you guys, hypergamy is real. Okay. And men don't really deal with hypergamy. It's more of a women thing. And by definition, it only means I want someone to have what I have or more. That's a female thing. You know, women date up. We as men date down. That's a completely different story. But what I'm getting at by that is you are a 1%er. So you want what would be, I guess, the top 1% of men. And that top 1% of men, you want them to be single, so that takes 60%, and you want them to be over 6 feet tall, because I think you're like 6'2", so that takes it down to about like 12 to 13%, and then that 0.5% you want to actually be straight and not gay, and so you want like 12.5% of 1% of the type of man that you're interested in, and then that 1% of man has to want you. You have effectively priced yourself out of the market. It's not that, you know what, men are terrible or this and that. Just the ones that you were looking for, my dear, quite frankly, don't want you. And that's all I have to say about that.
So, CT, if you were to give Leslie Jones some advice on how to get a man, what would it be? Your best advice, by the way, your best advice.
Do you how honest do you want me to be, Logic?
Inordinately honest.
Let's turn it all the way up.
I actually think Leslie Jones is one of the funniest women, and most women aren't funny, so I will admit she's a funny person. She's always in character, but at 60 years old, not really feminine. I mean, let's be honest, man. I mean, she's a 60-year-old woman. You know, she's old. I would tell her the best thing she could probably do is give a mean blowjob to get a man. Like, that's the only way, man, to keep it. And I mean, to be honest, man, I don't. That's what I would say. I mean, what else do you have to offer? I mean,
do you know who else gave that same advice?
Oh,
Monique.
It's a mean blowjob, man. I mean, like, she's what would a man need from her? You know, so I would. That's it. It's a mean blowjob.
I mean, to fight, unless your name is Rousey or Ali, and I mean the female version and not the dad. I mean the daughter and not the dad, or Menunez. Like, no one really cares about women who can fight.
Yeah.
Soldiers, man, if you would give advice to Leslie Jones on how to get a man, what would it be?
It's, Leslie Jones is far from the only woman in her age bracket dealing with being single.
Yeah.
I would say that it's definitely the guy's market at that age. If they're looking for something in that age range, because Vanessa Williams is also single. Remember her? And she's not that much older than Leslie Jones. Okay. Let me just put it like this. Men will put up with more from certain women than they will from certain other women.
Yeah.
The first time you disagree with Leslie Jones on what you should have on your pizza, you're out. Okay.
You might lose a hand trying to eat pizza with Leslie. I'm sorry.
Vanessa Williams will say, I'm used to sleeping on the left side of the bed. And you'll think, well, damn it, so am I. But, all right, I'll compromise. All right. You're not compromising with Leslie Jones on anything. And look, Leslie Jones, not my cup of tea. And the main reason for that is that it's her attitude. I don't believe she's funny. I haven't run into any female comedians that are consistently funny. I have not experienced that. Yeah. But yeah, God bless Leslie Jones. I hope she finds happiness and is successful at all the things.
You have no advice for her.
I mean,
we're writing a note right now to Leslie Jones on how to get a man. She seems desperate. She wants one.
Get a hobby. Involve yourself in your hobby. It comes a time where it might just be too late.
Yeah, unfortunately,
it just might be too late.
Yeah. So, Gimpy, man, if you writing a letter to Leslie Jones right now, how to get a man, what are you saying?
I think Gimpy's frozen.
That or he's in very deep thought.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
I'm confused.
Okay. Oh, he's gone. Nope, Andy's gone.
Oh yeah, he's out of here, man.
I'll give a suggestion.
I think the subject matter was just too much for him, man.
Leslie Jones is gonna. Yeah,
he's back.
Yeah, she got.
There you are, Gimpy.
She got to give some mean head or something, man.
And look, CT. That's got to be with the lights off, man.
So do I get a chance to answer my advice to Leslie Jones?
Yes, please.
You froze up.
I was for the StreamYard crashed on me. All of you missed a good opportunity for great one-liners. So first of all, I'd find a blind deaf guy who has low standards. That'd be my first piece of advice. Start there. Second of all, I don't know. I'd stop imitating a baboon on the first date.
Bro, come on, man.
Did you not see the rest of that? She's like, woo, 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 woo. The whole, like, dude, seriously, no guy wants that sort of energy. I'm sorry, you can have a money bin like Scrooge McDuck, and even the greediest guy gonna see Leslie Jones, money bin, Leslie Jones, money bin, and be out. So yeah, find a blind deaf guy with low standards.
ACT, do you remember?
Do you guys remember? Oh, go ahead, Bling.
Real quick, does anybody remember the movie Boomerang?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So remember he had the scene with Eartha Kitt, and he's like, he's like, turn off the lights, okay? And then she does, and he's like, can the room get any darker? Right?
Dude, why do we kind of remind us of the same thing? Al Bundy did a skit back in Married with Children when he was talking to his neighbor. I think her name was Marcy.
Marcy.
Yeah, something like that. And he goes, he's like 10 things to make your, to be good with your sex symbol husband. Put on a mask behind your head. Learn to walk backwards. Like stuff like that.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying.
I was trying to stay away from her looks, though.
Nah,
trying to strictly.
Dude, you got to find a guy who's at least 400 pounds so he can't be crushed by her.
And
you imagine what sex with her? She gets on top, dude. You have no torso left. That's it. It's over. It's just gone.
Look, let's
obliterated.
Yeah, she tried to hit the guy from the back.
Probably. You don't know what's going on there.
Let's not underestimate the reality of biology. Okay.
Oh shit.
We're attracted to women biologically, right? So if you're looking at Leslie Jones and she's saying, I'm good in a fight, okay, it's like
she doesn't even look like a woman.
The whole biology of it is not attracting you. Nobody looks across the room at a woman and says, damn, I bet she has a great personality. That's not the first thing you notice, okay? You're attracted physically first.
Look at that behemoth. That's what they say when they see her, dude.
And Mark's talking about, Mark says, look in Africa. Mark, why would you do that?
Dude, he may as well have said Jane Goodall needs a new lab assistant.
So dude, so some other comments. What we got? So
it's terrible.
Big Dog said not talk. Mark of course said be a sugar mommy. John says the advice is to pay them. Coley said
kidnapping.
Jones was with a guy at some point way below her standard.
School of the blind.
Dude, I said find a blind and deaf guy with low standards because the second he touches her, he's got to be accepting of all that.
But Ray Charles, he had like a method.
Yeah, he said
it wrist or something. He was like that, and it worked. It worked. He would feel Leslie Jones' wrist and say, "No way."
That's why you have to have low standards too. It has to be a blind deaf guy with low standards.
Yeah.
The average blind guy, deaf guy, they'll be like, nah, babe.
Now there are a few of them out there. My recommendation, my dear, would be take a personality test. You'll probably find out that you're an A-type personality, which most guys are. Okay, I think there's a JAS test you could take or something like that. What you do is you look at the top of that A-type personality, and then because personality is probably all that you've got that you're working with here, because. But if you look at the bottom of that, you'll get the opposite characteristics of A-type personality. And believe it or not, you might find a little bit of femininity in there. And you might want to start practicing that.
I'm sorry.
And then just
there's no femininity in
you're telling a 60-year-old woman to practice something new.
Right, and that's not
new, dude. She's not even of a species of female that has genetics for femininity. I'm sorry, dude, have you listened to her?
No, Kippy said she's not biologically wired.
Dude, Dude, her ancestors just bred it out of their bloodline long ago.
Listen, okay. The other thing,
Dude,
the other factor here that Leslie Jones may not be aware of. There's another factor here, and that is your boys. Your boys are not going to let you do that. Your boys are not going to let you do that. But I love her, man. No,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You definitely use your friends group.
Say again.
You definitely lose your friend group.
Oh yeah, because they're going to ridicule the hell out of you. You know.
Dude, you heard Kelly Clarkson sucking up to her because she's in the old single woman's group now.
Yeah, she has to.
Yeah, these ladies truly don't understand how important youth is to men.
Yeah,
like they just don't get that.
Yana showed me this thing. Yana showed me this thing today. In Dagestan, polygamy is absolutely legal, like in every sense of the word. A guy can have as many wives as he wants. That's right.
It's called Dagestan.
Yeah,
Dagestan.
What?
Dagestan?
No,
like
Dagestan. D-A-G.
Oh, okay.
In Dagestan.
I got you.
Right? You can have polygamy. And she showed me this. And it's like a woman who's in her late 30s. And the girl is clearly, the new wife is like clearly like 20 at tops. Like that's hitting the ceiling, is stretching to say that this girl is 20. And like women look at that and like, why would you, dude, I have a 35-year-old model, a 40-year-old model. I'm not going to invest in something that I'm going to go and I'm going to get me something 20 years old. It's just the practical. What's up, CT?
Gimpy, I'm ashamed to tell you guys this story. I must have been 31 at the time, and I was actually dating a chick who was the same age as me. Normally I would date younger, far younger. For whatever reason, in her head, she wasn't happy. Now, maybe I was a terrible person. I don't know. So she looked at me and said, "Do you think I'm happy?" I said, "I don't give a shit if you're happy or not. You're 31 years old." And I taught her a valuable lesson that day, man. I never forget that day. I wonder what she's doing now, but I never forget that.
Cursing men.
Probably plotting your assassination, man.
Oh, dude. You know what? Any day that ends in Y is someone plotting his assassination.
Yeah.
So.
I'm like, you're 31. You're not a 19, 20-year-old spring. Who are you? I don't care if you're happy or not.
And then look, that's another biological trigger because that, the younger you are as a woman, the more likely you are to be childbearing.
It's a fertility thing. Yes,
it's biology. It's biology.
Yeah.
And dude, the social environment we live in today does not benefit the feminism that they practice, because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of unhappiness, because they spend all this time delaying the things that are biological imperatives that run out of time for them, and then they're at a foot race at the end. So no matter what, they're always playing catch up in their lives. So
a lot of people might not like to hear this, but there are also subtle signals going on that are telling you do what's best for the gene pool.
Yeah.
Okay. And when in the back of your mind, something reptilian is going on that's saying we don't want to reproduce with this person. Okay.
Well, if you can't, then what's the point?
What do you mean? Oh, if the woman is too old.
Yeah.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, but
so hold on, guys. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. But I do want to ask this because this came up in the comments, and we did talk a little bit about Trump and Mamdani today, communists in the White House, and Trump embracing.
Oh wow, random independent, of course.
So anyone else think Trump's a wannabe dictator? And he's asking the guys for. But the question was, Trump's a wannabe dictator, meaning a wannabe socialist.
No, it's a before. There's the actual question is earlier. Even.
Yeah.
Just thoughts on it.
No. Trump's a capitalist. Look. No, I just can't put anything else into it. If he wanted to be a dictator, he sure does act undictator-like. If you look at the fact that when they take him to court, he sends it up to a higher court. Okay, he doesn't say, we're just going to ignore this. Okay, no King's Day. You wouldn't have a no King's Day. You wouldn't be allowed to if you had a king.
Mm-hmm.
So,
CT, thoughts on this?
I mean, no, I've already said it before. There's too many checks and balances in America for us to have any type of dictator. And we can clearly see that a lot of his executive orders were being rejected. So, yeah. No, he's not a dictator.
Reason?
That's a negative. He's not. As a matter of fact, he's doing better than the majority of leadership has done. However, whatever you want to call him, fact of the matter is, the guy's not perfect, but he's getting done more of him. He's making more change already in almost a year than was done in the last 4 years by the previous administration. So,
Gippy, how do you respond?
God, I wish he was. God, I wish he was.
Yeah.
So the guy's not perfect.
If I have to have a dictator, it's like, if you're giving me choices, do I want more of the bullshit, or would I rather Trump just have a free hand to do whatever Trump wanted? I'd rather have Trump have a free hand and do whatever Trump wanted. Sorry, I have no faith left in our system. Yeah, it works. It keeps everything in gridlock indefinitely. I'd rather try something else, but that's a problem in and of itself. But no, he's not a dictator, because if he was, a whole bunch of things would be different in how we do day-to-day business already in this last year. So, but a random independent, he's a very rational guy. I've had a lot of conversations with him, but he has a TDS.
Well, appreciate the $5 super chat though. A random independent.
Yeah, but clearly a random independent is here to give us a slurp job with his.
Yeah. So Trump's not here to pay out a slurp job. Y'all give him. So I'll give you the way. Thank you, man.
We appreciate it, and we will use it to buy Taiwanese hookers just for you.
Oh, why did it have to be Taiwanese?
Oh, I don't know. It just sounded degenerate. I mean,
yeah, that's pretty degenerate.
All right, guys, we about to get out of here tonight. Where can everybody find you? CT, where can they find you, man?
Hey, at Chaotic Truth Live, man. Thank you so much.
Right on.
Proving why the human race needs the asteroid.
Soldiers, where can they find you, bro?
Soldiers of Finance, right here on YouTube.
Right on. Gimpy, what about you, man?
Oh, annoying CT daily. That's my favorite activity these days.
All right, close us out, Region. Where can people find you and close us out?
You can find me at the majority of all of the MCM shows, which are tonight, which we were Just the Guys. Tomorrow night is Christian Conservative. Monday night is Pop and Politics. Tuesday, 7:00 p.m. is the All American Talk Show. Back to Wednesday, Pop and Politics. Thursday, Christian Conservative. Friday, Pop and Politics. And again, us next Saturday on the All American Talk Show. We appreciate you hanging out with us, you guys. It is always a pleasure. And if nothing else needs to be said,
hey, hold on, real quick.
That's what I said. If there's nothing
next week, I do have a communist coming on the show.
Are they hot? Because if you can't compete with the communists that CT brings up,
well, he's a socialist.
He brings hot commie ethos on his panel.
No, so next week I do have Davon Love of Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle coming on the show. So Soldiers knows him well, but he is. Oh, you know him?
I know of him.
But he's a socialist, self-proclaimed, and he believes socialism over capitalism. And
well, how's he going to join us then? Because don't you have to use some capitalist device to get onto the internet?
Hey, man, logic and reason are right here.
Well, no, they're just going to redistribute Chadwick's bandwidth.
Yeah. But all right, guys, go ahead and close this out again. Just tell everybody bye.
All right, you guys, as always, a pleasure. Have a wonderful evening. Don't forget, again, to check out Soldiers Finance as well as Chaotic Truth Live. And you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next week, you guys. Later.